In your headlines, Premier Music says no job loss with Tourist Board transition to DMMO. For the TCI holds first energy forum, and Social Development and Welfare hosts seminar for male scholars. Hello Turks and Caicos, thank you for joining us for another edition of Newswatch. It's Thursday, October 21st, 2021. I'm Latoya Walken and Newswatch starts now. The Premier Honorable Charles Washington Mizik in his recent press conference to the general public on pertinent matters says no jobs will be affected with TCI Tourist Board transition to DMMO, Thursday's leading story.
And I understand that there's been some confusion, and I hope between what I have to say and what the questions come this afternoon that we can clear up this whole issue, particularly as it relates to the transition. This reform organization will transform tourism and catapult us further along, keep us in the front of the line. And let me emphasize, because I don't want people to spread the propaganda that this is a job-cutting exercise. This is not a job-cutting exercise. No one, there's no intention to fire anyone. We're building two organizations. One is marketing and management of the destination. The Turks and Caicos Islands Tourism Board, as it speaks at the moment, was set up as a marketing organization. But you've got other bodies in the country, and they run on parallel tracks. This is meant to be a public-private partnership that integrates all of our public and private sector partners so that our resources can be pooled together for the benefit of all of us who live and make our living out of this industry.
Premier Mizik also shared the focus of the Destination Marketing and Management Organization.
The focus of this new organization, this new structure, will be marketing and management of the destination to achieve an overarching approach to promoting the destination. The goal, as I said earlier, is establishing an organization that will, well, first of all, be responsible for driving marketing and management of the organization, of the destination. This includes looking at things like what kind of activities and programs and that we could incorporate into our tourism product. That includes developing young people, our artisan and our artists, to make sure that more money is retained in the local economy. We need to leverage this industry so that everybody benefits. And that is part of what the tourism destination management objective is.
Premier Mizik stated that decisions were made with input from various stakeholders as he explains the establishment of a regulatory authority.
And that decision is to improve the management of the destination to better regulate the sector. And this really is the job of the tourism authority. The function or the plan or the intention is to ensure visitor safety and increase visitor confidence in all services and all service providers, which will allow for longer stays, more return visits, and an overall greater experience for our guests. The establishment of a regulatory authority will, you see, you can't have the poacher and the gamekeeper being the same person or the same organization. So by liberating the tourists, by restructuring tourism, how we will do tourism in the future, the DMO is going to be responsible for driving the industry. But you need a regulator to make sure that standards are kept. And so that will be the job of the authority to make sure that standards are kept, things like the quality of to ensure quality assurance, safety for the visitors.
The first Turks and Caicos Energy Forum seeking to map out the future of energy in the TCI was held by Fortis TCI on October 21st. Delana Isles with the highlights.
The Energy Forum was hosted at the Shore Club Turks and Caicos, with limited attendance due to COVID-19 restrictions and live streaming for the viewing public. The keynote address was delivered by Dr. Heginus Leon, President of the Caribbean Development Bank. He spoke on advancing economic development in the Caribbean, the role of sustainable energy. He cites sustainable energy transition as a necessity for Caribbean development.
With limited fiscal space available to governments, the private sector must play a leading role in driving this transition. There is more than enough room for households, small private investors, particularly MSMEs, private utility companies, and large private independent power producers, including internationals, to invest in various sustainable energy transition projects with an expectation of reasonable returns while simultaneously supporting common sustainability goals. Governments would need, by extension, to facilitate this participation through appropriate enabling frameworks that are inclusive, supportive, and consultative. An independent regulatory framework model rooted in a performance-based approach is likely to be an appropriate choice for our BMCs. Fourth, we need to invest in strategic partnerships. At the global level, the International Energy Agency has already highlighted the pivotal role of international cooperation for achieving net zero emissions by 2050. In that vein, CDB has already established a range of partnerships with regional and international partners, and I'll include a few: the Caribbean Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency, the Global Climate Fund, we've heard of the Rocky Mountain Institute this morning, and the Organization of Caribbean Utility Regulators. I'd like to suggest that COP26 could provide an opportunity to catalyze these partnerships to support a speedy transition to a sustainable energy framework capable of tackling the impact of climate change.
The conference sought to address the transformation of the energy sector, more specifically, the future of energy in the Turks and Caicos Islands. The CDB president says the bank stands ready to provide the necessary support as Caribbean countries work to transform their energy sectors.
CDB stands ready to provide technical assistance in the form of advisory support for the establishment of PPP policies and regulatory frameworks, as well as relevant capacity strengthening. Ladies and gentlemen, our development in the region must be seen from a holistic perspective. And perhaps more than anywhere else in the world, a sustainable energy transition is one of our most important transgenerational obligations. Alternative forms of energy, especially solar, wind, and ocean resources, are in unlimited supply in our backyard. And we need to push forward purposefully to harness this abundant supply to not only diversify our energy base and enhance energy security, but more importantly, to sustain the long-term development of our region.
The event brought together a wide cross-section of local stakeholders, including government officials, businesses, and Fortis TCI staff and customers. Fortis Incorporated President and Chief Executive Dave Hutchins highlighted the Fortis Group's sustainability plans and its focus on clean energy. In tomorrow's broadcast, we will bring you major highlights coming out of the event from all of the guest speakers. For PTV News Watch, I'm Delana Als.
It's time for a quick break. More News Watch when we return.
This is a reminder that all PTV service accounts are due on the first day of each month. Accounts should be brought up to date by the 28th of the month to avoid disruption in service. Payments may be made on our office at Stubbs Diamond Plaza, Providenciales, Mides Plaza, North Caicos, and Airport Road in South Caicos. Payments may also be made online using Scotiabank, CIBC First Caribbean Bank, and Royal Bank of Canada. Please allow 3 business days for online payments to be processed. We thank you for your cooperation.
Welcome back to News Watch. Early in October, the Department of Social Development and Welfare put on a 3-day seminar aimed at engaging at-risk school-age young men in discussions on societal and other challenges. Details in this report.
The event was a 3-day affair, October 5th to the 7th, hosted with the financial backing of UNICEF Eastern Caribbean. Seminars were held on both Grand Turk and Providenciales. Touted as an adolescent boys empowerment seminar, the event was part of the department's program, My Brother's Keeper. The department says the purpose of the seminar was to inspire, encourage, and empower adolescent boys, some of whom come from broken homes and humble beginnings. The theme for the seminar was Unleashing the Greatness in You. Young men aged 12 to 17 who are at risk and display inappropriate behaviors at home, at school, or in their neighborhoods were the participants. The schools represented were the Helena J. Robinson High, Marjorie Basin High, Long Bay High, Clement Howell, Maranatha High, Raymond Gardner High, and TSIP's Comprehensive High Schools. A total of 74 boys attended the session with powerful and influential presenters. The topics discussed were designed to equip the young men with the tools necessary to cope with and lead a positive life, ultimately avoiding what is attributed to their delinquent behavior. These topics were tackled in breakout sessions and focused on issues such as sex, health and wellness, goals and value setting, drug use and abuse, relax, reflect and restore, and anger management and conflict resolution. The department says the young men were well engaged, showed keen interest by asking and answering questions, and that they were so enthused they asked to be called upon to be part of next year's sessions. The seminar also received support from Digital TCI with free telephone top-up minutes as gift prizes during the session. Certificates of participation were issued to the young men along with t-shirts and knapsacks. The next step for the department is hosting a spin-off virtual sessions with 5th and 4th grade male students at the primary school level. These will be held at the end of October, addressing topics based on the challenges these boys experience. Information provided by the Department of Social Development and Welfare states that juvenile delinquency has increased in the past few years, and at-risk youths appear to be at the center of criminal activities around the country. They say school officials have confirmed where young men in particular are wreaking havoc on schools' compounds. Quote, "These delinquent young boys are allegedly involved in gang-related activities, using marijuana, fighting, and disrespecting authority figures." End quote. The department states that while efforts have been diverted towards addressing juvenile delinquency in the past, new developments and statistics suggest that addressing the criminogenic needs, coupled with a strong social support system, is one of the most significant ways to tackle juvenile delinquency. They say that at-risk young adolescent boys are normally ostracized and counted out by association. Thus, the trajectory of these boys, even graduating from high school, is low. Additionally, their environment characterizes and labels them. The department says that their intention with these seminars for young boys is for the young men to reflect 5 to 10 years from now and say that someone cared enough to do something that helped them in a meaningful way. For PTV News Watch, I'm Delana Isles.
Fortis TCI has presented the National Cancer Society of the Turks and Caicos Islands with a sponsorship to help support the Society's ongoing programs and the annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walkathon, which will be held in late October. Take a look. Fortis TCI President and CEO Ruth Forbes made the presentation of a $5,000 check on Tuesday, October 5th, to the Society's President Veronica Rigby and former President Rosemary Jolly, in support of the Society's ongoing programs and the annual Breast Cancer Awareness Walkathon scheduled for Saturday, October 30th. National Cancer Society President stated, quote, "On behalf of everyone at the Society, I thank Fortis TCI for their continued support, beyond their sponsorship and their financial commitment through the years. We know we can also count on Fortis TCI employees to support our activities. We have a partnership that works well together as we do everything we can to make a positive difference in the lives of those we serve." End quote. Fortis TCI President and CEO Ruth Forbes stated, quote, "We are proud to once again show our support for the National Cancer Society and the very important work it does. Cancer is a disease that touches almost everyone in our community, whether directly or indirectly, and it is vital that we have a dedicated organization like the National Cancer Society that continues to educate the community and provide tangible support to cancer patients. As we mark October as Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we hope this donation will assist in enabling the Society to expand its outreach efforts." End quote. Fortis TCI is a long-standing sponsor of the National Cancer Society and over the years has supported programs such as the annual Walkathon and the Society's Night for the Fight event. A quick break now. When we return, News Sports Authority and weather forecasts.
This is a reminder that all PTV service accounts are due on the first day of each month. Accounts should be brought up to date by the 28th of the month to avoid disruption in service. Payments may be made on our office at Stubbs Diamond Plaza, Providenciales, Mides Plaza, North Caicos, and Airport Road in South Caicos. Payments may also be made online using Scotiabank, CIBC First Caribbean Bank, and Royal Bank of Canada. Please allow 3 business days for online payments to be processed. We thank you for your cooperation.
As the last cycling event for the season, the Tour was a boost of hope and a jab of interest for racing cyclists. The event was a 5-stage race held from October 9th to the 11th. Stage 1 in Providenciales. The cyclists got on the road for a pound-for-pound power ride, individual time trial. The end of Stage 1 saw Matthew Williams finishing in 3rd place, with Daniel Redman finishing 2nd and Sean Rogers attaining 1st with the fastest time of 17 minutes and 14 seconds. Stage 2 in Providenciales saw things a little differently as the cyclists prepared for a 52-mile road race, climbing, sprinting, and attacking, all the things expected in this race. Daniel Redman and Sean Rogers commenced setting the pace for the challenge. A quarter of the way through the race, Tyrone Bishop joined in with the pacing. The pace was high and hard all the way going into Chalk Sound. When the cyclists got back on South Dock Road, Bishop was the first to attack and made the trailing cyclists work to catch him. Bishop and Rogers battled each other in relentless repeated attacks. First across the line was Sean Rogers, followed by Tyrone Bishop, and pulling in third was Daniel Redmond. Stage 3 was set to be a road race in North Caicos, but had to be cancelled due to mechanical problems with the boat while en route. Stage 4, Providenciales, was the second individual time trial that saw Sean Rogers taking gold in first place, in second Kevin Ewing for the silver, and Daniel Redmond in third place for the bronze. Stage 5 was again in Providenciales. This was the final stage in a road race of 70 miles. The cyclists were not as exhausted as they would have been thanks to the unscheduled rest day that was on October 10th. The cyclists all stayed together for most of the race until Rogers pulled away from Redmond some 17 miles from the finish. However, by the time Rogers had crossed the line, Williams had already finished the race. Stage 5 ended with Matthew Williams crossing the line first, followed by Sean Rogers and then Daniel Redmond. At the end of it all, Sean Rogers emerged as the 2021 Tour of Turks and Caicos Islands champion, with Daniel Redmond second and Matthew Williams third. Meanwhile, looking ahead, the 2022 cycling season is set to be monumental, as cyclists will represent the TCI next summer in the Commonwealth Games hosted in the United Kingdom. For PTV News Watch, I'm Delana Isles.
Cloudy conditions across the Turks and Caicos Islands. Here's your weather forecast for October 22nd, 2021. Starting in Grand Turk on Friday, scattered thunderstorms, high 84, low 80, winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. South Caicos on Friday, partly cloudy skies, high 85, low 81, winds east-southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. North and Middle Caicos on Friday, scattered thunderstorms, high 86, low 81, winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Parrot and Pine Key on Friday, mostly cloudy skies, high 86, low 81, winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. And on Providenciales on Friday, mostly cloudy skies, high 86, low 81, winds east-southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Time now for your sunrise and sunset. Sunrise at 6:49 a.m., sunset at 6:20 p.m. For your high tides and low tides, high tides 9:25 a.m., 9:43 p.m. For your low tides, 3:06 a.m., 3:45 p.m. Time now for your hurricane outlook. For the North Atlantic, Caribbean Sea and the Gulf of Mexico, tropical cyclone formation is not expected during the next 5 days. And that's it for your weather forecast and hurricane outlook. We'll be right back with more News Watch.
Here at People's Television, we're more than just your leading news and entertainment services. We are
spreading the gospel.
We are breaking barriers.
We are preserving the culture. Each one, teach one.
We are committed to excellence.
We're creating change.
We are creating memories.
We are the future. I am PTV.
I am PTV. I am PTV.
I am PTV.
We are PTV.
We are continuing the legacy. We are PTV.
Welcome back to Newswatch. A group from TCI Community College returned from an international summit said to have provided them with a wealth of networking opportunities. Take a look.
3 community college students were invited by the Premier's office in conjunction with the Ministry of Education and Ministry of Tourism to attend this year's NABHUD International Summit. The group consisted of Jerika Francis and Danae Denny, second-year students pursuing an associate's degree in tourism at the Grand Turk campus, and Christy Ewing, a first-year student pursuing an associate's degree in tourism management at the Providenciales campus. Danae Denny made headlines in 2019 when she was named Caribbean Junior Minister and TCI Junior Minister. She said of the experience, quote, attending the NAHUB African American Hotel Ownership and Investment Summit and the International Multicultural and Heritage Tourism Summit and Trade Show has been such a wonderful experience. I was able to gain great insight into the hospitality and tourism industry. I learned that as a woman in the industry, I should always be bold and confident in my abilities. I learned from various CEOs that you can start from the bottom and make it to the very top. I was also encouraged to make my own room if there's none that fits my interests." End quote. Miss Jerika Francis shared her memories from the conference, saying, quote, "Attending the NAB Hub Summit was a great experience for me. I got to learn more about the tourism industry, and I also acquired more knowledge on how I can make it in the industry. It was such an honor that I was chosen to represent my faculty at this event." Lastly, but certainly not least, Christy Ewing had this to say, saying, quote, "I was one of the students chosen to go to Miami, Florida for NAB Hub's 25th annual summit and trade show. I learned many interesting things and advice that can be used in my career later on. I also met many new people who gave me a wider insight and perspective on things in the tourism industry. I had the pleasure of meeting with the premier of the Turks and Caicos, the Honorable Charles Washington Mizik, who spoke with us and informed us on his plans for the tourism industry. I am deeply grateful for this opportunity and will be happy to do it again." Honorable Rachel Taylor met the students upon arrival back to the Turks and Caicos Islands, and she expressed her thanks to the team for ably representing the country and the college. Reporting for BTV Newswatch, I'm Ali Harvey.
But that wraps it up for Thursday's newscast. Join us again tomorrow and every weekday at 6:30 p.m. for the real news. Miss the story? You can visit us at www.ptvatci.com. I'm Latoya Walken signing out until next time.